Hello, and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. And today we're going to begin a series. We're going to look at four new beers from Kyoto Brewing Company in Kyoto, Japan, and we'll do them one at a time. And Kyoto Brewing was founded in 2015 by three foreign residents of Kyoto City, and actually they weren't all resident in Kyoto when they started. Only one was, I think. And these three people are an American, a Canadian, and a Welshman, and they had all lived in Japan for a number of years and in different capacities. I've known the head brewer for a number of years. He worked at a university in Kyoto and was homebrewing for several years, and we used to have the pleasure of tasting his homebrews, when he produced them, and we would have beer tasting sessions, and he would often bring some of his latest brews. And in any case, that's kind of a full disclosure. I know these three gentlemen, and I've had the homebrew that the head brewer made before he went professional. He studied in the U.S. and he did an internship at Lost Abbey in California, a very highly renowned brewery, and he then worked for Shiga Kogen Brewery in Nagano Prefecture, which is one of the top craft beer breweries in Japan. In 2015, the same year they started, they were voted the best new brewery by the Rate Beer Best selection. And in 2019, they were rated the best brewery in Japan by the same Rate Beer Best annual selection. They have a tap room in Kyoto. Due to coronavirus, I think their hours are somewhat limited, but it is open generally on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so you can sample their beers. They have three main or flagship beers that they make, and a wide variety of seasonals and one-offs as well, and a variety of different series that they make. And this beer, well, the beers we're going to look at are all in the series. They used to have two seasonal lines. Now they have just one. It's called Kimagure series, and these are they have one every spring, summer, fall, and winter. And those are generally pale ales or IPAs, session ales, that sort of thing. They are well known for making Belgian style or Belgian influenced beers, for example, Belgian IPAs and Saisons and that sort of thing. On Rate Beer, when I last checked, they had 195 different beers, and on Untapped, they had 153, I believe, an average of 3.77, so pretty high ratings overall. So we're going to move on now and get started with the first beer. And again, this is from Kyoto Brewing Company in Kyoto, Japan. And now let's look at another beer from Kyoto Brewing Company in Kyoto, Japan. And this is also a relatively new one. It came out in June of this year. We're now in August, so the shelf life is kind of short. They recommend until just a 3-month period. I don't know about that, but in any case, it's one of the relatively new ones, and it's a new style. It's something quite unusual. Anyway, the name of this is called Kyoto Brewing Watanuki, and it is Rate Beer calls it a flavored Gose, and Kyoto Brewing Company themselves, they call it a fruit sour or an Imperial Gose, which is, of course, quite unusual. Goses don't usually get up to 7.5%, so this should be quite an interesting beer. And the name Watanuki is it's kind of an old expression. It's the old word in Japanese for the fourth month of the lunar calendar. And the connotation of this is the time when you change clothes from winter clothes to spring clothes. Wata is cotton, and nuki is the verb form of take off. So take off your thick, heavy winter kimono and change to a lighter one for spring. It's 7.5% alcohol, only 5 international bittering units. And rate beer, there are only 2 ratings that I found, and the average of those was 3.7 out of 5. Untapped, there were 46 separate ratings, and the average is almost identical, 3.72 out of 5. Okay, so again, it's Kyoto Brewing Watanuki. It's they call it Imperial Gose flavored. And let's take a quick look at what those ingredients are in this. The malt bill is Golden Promise, which is, I think, becoming a favorite at Kyoto Brewing Company, and wheat. And I'm not sure if it's malted wheat or unmalted wheat. And bittering hops are Mercure, which is also a favorite hop at Kyoto Brewing. Flavor and aroma hops, none whatsoever. And as again we saw, it's only 5 international bittering units. Now the extra ingredients in this one are apricot juice and ume juice, rosemary, fresh rosemary, and salt, Himalayan salt, pink salt. And the ume is pickled plum. It's quite a popular item in Japan, and they make liqueur out of it too, a kind of fortified liqueur called ume shu. So apricot juice, ume juice, and fresh rosemary and salt. And apparently they threw the stalks and all of the rosemary into the boil. And so it should have some unusual flavors. Looking forward to this one. This is part of their Iridescence series, where they're exploring a variety of different fruit sour beers. Let's give this one a go. I assume this does have lactic acid in it as well. Rosemary. My, oh my. Very interesting nose. This is quite unusual. It's a kind of hazy, medium amber color. Looks like a glass full of caramel, but it doesn't taste or smell like caramel, I'm sure. No, this is very, very unusual. Get the apricot, the rosemary is quite evident. A lot of lactic kettle sours tend to really bomb your sinuses. This one does not, but the herbal and fruity element is quite present. Very sour. You get the sour plums. This is like if you bite into a nice big umeboshi, you get this kind of sourness. Lots of salt, lots of ume, very unusual mix. Rosemary. More present in the aroma than the flavor. Wow. And salt. Okay, so this is a kind of an interesting combination of a Gose and a fruit sour, and jacked up to 7.5%, and with the rosemary added. So quite an unusual combination. I like this, and I think I've said before, I'm not a big fan of sour beers, but this is really quite exceptional. And you can detect the increased alcohol presence as well, somewhat. Really tasty. It's got more body than most sour beers, definitely. Again, Kyoto Brewing is doing so many different things, and it's kind of hard to keep up with them. So I check their website periodically to see what's new. and then sometimes order from them, which you can do too if you live in Japan. Once again, this is called Kyoto Brewing Watanuki. It is a 7.5%, 5 international bitter units, flavored Gose or perhaps Imperial Gose fruit sour beer. Give it a go and let me know what you think. Okay, subscribe to the channel, please, and send me a comment. Tell me what you think about Kyoto Brewing, about Gose beers, about using rosemary in beers. Rosemary, that's the kind of thing you think might not work, but it definitely adds something to this beer. That's it for today. Take care. Bye-bye.